22 years ago, my world shattered and remade itself in the same day. I was 32, working long, grueling shifts as a steelworker in Pittsburgh. One night, after a brutal double shift, I came home expecting the usual noise: kids laughing, dinner cooking, cartoons blaring on the TV. Instead, there was silence. No footsteps, no voices. Just a single folded note on the counter that read, "I deserve to be happy. This isn't the life I wanted. Don't look for me." 7 years of marriage ended in 8 cold words. Her name was Vanessa. Our kids were Mason, 6, Tessa, 4, and Caleb, barely 14 months old. She didn't just vanish. She planned it. While I was at work, she packed her things, dropped the kids at my mother's with some vague emergency story, and boarded a plane to California with a co-worker named Lance, a used boat salesman who stank of overpowering cologne. I didn't know she was gone until my mom finally reached me. I'd missed her first 3 calls while operating heavy machinery. When I answered, she told me Vanessa had left the kids with her and disappeared. By the time I got home, my wife was already thousands of miles away. Her family didn't help. Within a week, they were hinting that maybe I hadn't given her enough emotional support. I told them to go to hell and never spoke to them again. That first night was hell itself. Caleb screamed for his mother until he had no voice left. Tessa kept asking when Mommy's trip would be over. Mason just sat at the window, waiting for a car that would never come. I didn't sleep. I just held them and tried to figure out how I was going to keep us afloat. I'd handled steel in sub-zero winters and in 105-degree heat, but nothing had prepared me for raising 3 kids under 7 on my own. Still, quitting was an option. I switched to the early shift, 4:30 a.m. to 1 p.m., so I could do school runs. My foreman, an old-school guy named S., told me, "You're not quitting. We'll make it work. Those kids need you steady." He kept his word, covering for me when daycare called, never once treated me like less a man for taking care of my children. The divorce was quick. Abandonment is abandonment. She didn't contest it or even show up. I got full custody, the house, and no child support. I didn't want her money. I wanted her gone. The early years were rough. Explaining to Mason why his Mother's Day card had to go to Grandma. Watching Tessa dance at her recital with an empty seat where her mom should have been. Teaching Mason to ride a bike while he tried not to cry because Mom should be here. I never badmouthed Vanessa to them. I didn't have to. Kids know who's there and who isn't. For years, dating wasn't even on my radar. My life was work and kids. Then I met Lauren, a nurse who treated Tessa, when she broke her arm at the playground. While Lauren wrapped a cast, 10-year-old Tessa blurted out, "You're pretty. My dad's single." I wanted the ground to swallow me. Lauren just smiled and said, "Let's fix your arm first." We dated for 2 years before I let her meet the kids. She never tried to replace their mother. She was just there, consistently. Mason warmed up to her first, then Tessa. Caleb, who barely remembered Vanessa, bonded with her instantly. We got married when Caleb was 11 in a small backyard ceremony. During the reception, Tessa whispered to me, "She's a mom we should have had all along." I cried right there. Life was good. Mason became a carpenter and out-earned me within a few years. Tessa became a teacher. Caleb was finishing engineering school. We never heard from Vanessa. No calls, no cards, nothing. Her sister occasionally hinted she was still with Lance in California. Eventually, she became just a name. Then, last month, the past showed up on our doorstep. I was in the garage changing Lauren's oil when the doorbell rang. Lauren answered and froze. Then came the voice, "I'm looking for Daniel. I'm his wife. His first wife, Vanessa." I walked to the door. Time had not been kind to her. She looked worn, hair streaked with gray, clutching a battered suitcase. "Dan," she said, voice trembling. "I know this is unexpected. Unexpected is running into someone at the grocery store. I cut in. This is audacity." She started to cry, asking to talk to me and the kids. Said she'd made a mistake. I told her a mistake was forgetting your wallet at the store. Abandoning 3 kids was a choice. Lance had left her. She'd been living in her car. and now she had nowhere to go. "You're my family," she said. Lauren actually laughed. "Family? I'm his family. I'm the one who raised your children." That's when Mason came home from work. 6'3", built like a linebacker. He took one look at Vanessa and said, "You're her." Then, without missing a beat, "You're not my mother. My mother's right here." He kissed Lauren's cheek and walked inside without another word. Vanessa stood frozen. "He doesn't even know me," she whispered. That's what happens when you walk out on a 6-year-old. I told her, "They forget you." Then I told her to leave or I'd call the police. But she didn't stop. Over the next 3 days, she showed up at Mason's construction site, Tessa's school, even Caleb's college campus. Each of my kids shut her down in their own way. Mason called her an egg donor. Tessa thanked her for leaving because it was the best parenting decision you ever made. And Caleb politely said, "I'm indifferent. You taught me to live without you, and I got really good at it." Then she sued me for parental alienation and emotional distress. The judge dismissed it in 10 minutes. Still, she kept trying, even contacting Tessa's future in-laws, telling lies about me. That's when I hired a private investigator. 2 days later, I had the full story. Lance drained her accounts, left her for someone younger. She'd been fired for theft, arrested for bad checks, and evicted 3 times. She wasn't looking for family. She was looking for a lifeline. When I told the kids, Mason said, "So she traded us for Lance, and now she's shocked the trade expired." We laughed, then blocked her everywhere. We thought that was the end. Until 2 weeks later, Tessa called, panicked. "Dad, she's at the church." My daughter's wedding was a month away, and Vanessa was telling her fiancé's parents that she was Tessa's real mother and warning them they were marrying into a broken family. Lauren didn't even look up from folding laundry when she said, "Time to go on offense." I called my lawyer and filed for a harassment restraining order for all of us. The PI's report was Exhibit A, abandonment, decades of no contact, repeated unwanted approaches, workplace and school disruptions, false statements. At the hearing, Vanessa tried to play the victim, wearing a cheap black dress and saying she just wanted to rebuild her family. The judge wasn't buying it. "You abandoned 3 minors for over 20 years, he said. "That's not reunification. That's harassment. Restraining order granted. 5 years, no contact." That weekend, we had a barbecue to celebrate. Mason grilled steaks. Tessa brought wine. Caleb played guitar. Mason raised a glass. To the woman who actually showed up, Mom. He looked at Lauren, who laughed with tears in her eyes. Tessa added, "And to Dad, the man who never let go of the wheel, even when the ship was sinking." Caleb strummed a chord and said, "And to Vanessa, thanks for leaving. You gave us the life we were meant to have." We all laughed. It wasn't bitterness anymore. It was closure.